from the station that's on your side. You're watching News 19 at 6.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Lauren Thomas. We'll start off tonight in Sumter County, where a Louisiana woman is behind bars for a child abuse charge. 55-year-old Jacqueline Razor has been charged with unlawful conduct toward a child. This comes after she brought a 7-year-old girl to the Kershaw Health Medical Center with a severe burn on her foot. Deputies say the child also had bruises and marks on her body. They say she's been taken into emergency protective care and is being treated at a local hospital. We're told the girl's 9-year-old brother has also been taken into protective custody. Razor claims to be their grandmother and says she was bringing the children to Sumter to reunite them with their grandfather. She is currently being held in the Sumter jail. Well, Richland County deputies have arrested a 17-year-old suspect for carjacking. The incident happened at around 4:30 yesterday at the Sphinx gas station on Lee Road. We're told the victim stepped into the gas station and the suspect then jumped into her car. Deputies say the victim tried to get back into her car but was hit by the door and was dragged a few yards. Luckily, she was unharmed. According to deputies, the suspect was wearing a fast food restaurant uniform at the time of the crime. Deputies later arrested the suspect as he arrived at work. Well, troopers say one person died in a single-car collision early this morning. Authorities say the car ran off the side of the Lodge Hall Street in Vance, crashed into a tree and overturned. They say the driver, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was partially ejected from the car. We're told the driver is recovering from serious injuries, but the passenger, who troopers say was also not wearing a seatbelt, died after being ejected from the car. Highway Patrol is currently investigating this crash. Well, a funeral service is being held for a South Carolina Marine who died when 2 helicopters collided off the coast of Hawaii at the beginning of the year. A funeral with military honors was held for Sergeant Jeffrey Simpler in Woodruff today. Simpler was one of 12 Marines who died in a night training exercise back in January. He was a 2011 graduate of Woodruff High School, where he was an honor student. His father is an officer with the Woodruff Police Department.
Now, the Midland's most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jim Gandy.
It was a beautiful day around the area. Skies were cloudy to start the day, but it gave way to partly cloudy skies. That's where we are right now, 79 degrees. It's been a bit breezy. Our wind's still out of the north at about 9 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clearing. We'll see a low of 56. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine with a high temperature of 81 degrees. And it's going to be dry into next week. We'll be seeing plenty of sunshine. But next week, it'll also be hotter. We'll look at that forecast in a moment.
All right, thanks, Jim. Well, it's been 3 days since Prince died at his home in the Minnesota compound. Today, family and friends went into the Paisley Park home. Yesterday, a medical examiner performed an autopsy. They say it could be days or weeks before test results, including toxicology results, are known. And as the world is mourning one of the most prolific musicians of our time, Anthony Mason looks back at Prince's reign in the music industry.
Beyond his dozens of hit songs, Prince was a pioneer in the music industry. As he said in his Rock and Roll Hall of Fame acceptance speech, for him, music was about freedom.
Freedom to produce, freedom to play all the instruments on my records, freedom to say anything I wanted to.
And the freedom to release it when he wanted to. When his label tried to hold him back, Prince rebelled, changing his name to an unpronounceable symbol and performing with the word slave scrawled across his cheek. Prince Rogers Nelson learned to stand up for himself when he was bullied as a boy growing up in Minneapolis.
Early in my career, I tried to compensate for that by being as flashy as I could and as noisy as I could.
On the Tavis Smiley Show in 2009, Prince, who rarely spoke about his childhood, talked about his father.
My father he was so hard on me.
John Nelson was a pianist who led the Prince Rogers Jazz Band, which gave Prince his name.
I taught myself music. My father left his piano at the house when he left, and I wasn't allowed to play it when he was there because I wasn't as good as him. So when he left, I was determined to get as good as him.
He became a virtuoso on the keyboards, the guitar, and drums, playing all 27 instruments on his debut album. Michael Jackson would sell more records, but for a time, Prince, with his wickedly flirtatious charisma, was the only one who could rival the king of pop's stage presence. I embarked on a journey more fascinating than I could ever have imagined, Prince once said. Those who went along for the funky ride never imagined it would end so soon.
Well, the tributes just continue for the music icon. Chevy recognized Prince's song Little Red Corvette by running full-page ads in 6 newspapers around the nation that show a red 1963 Chevrolet Corvette with the lyrics, "Baby, that was much too fast." Along with it, Prince's birth year of 1958 and the year of his passing, 2016. Well, if you haven't seen Purple Rain, it's coming back to theaters courtesy of AMC and Carmike. Both chains announced certain theaters will show the movie. Although AMC doesn't have any in the Midlands, the Carmike 14 on Afton Court near Harbison Boulevard will play it. The theater run started and goes through Thursday. This was a great movie by Prince. We're on your side tonight with details on another car recall. Fiat Chrysler says it's recalling 1.1 million cars worldwide. That includes more than 800,000 mid-size SUVs and full-size cars in the U.S. This is all to stop confusion over when the automatic transmission is in the park position. Some drivers can't tell if they have shifted in park using the electronic shift levers and have been getting out of the car with the engine still running. So far, this has resulted in 41 injuries. Well, the boil water advisory that was in effect for some Columbia Water customers has been repealed. It affected customers who live in the 9,000 and 10,000 block of Broad River Road, Ministry Drive, and Elliott Richards Drive. The area was placed under a boil water advisory while the city of Columbia flushed the system. You no longer need to boil your water, though, before drinking or cooking. Well, construction crews are starting to shift traffic as part of a $230 million project to improve the Interstate 85 and Interstate 385 interchange in Greenville is going on this weekend. And the crews will finish a temporary ramp to take drivers from I-85 North to I-385 North. The project will add lanes to both highways and build bridges to eliminate tight curves and short merging lanes. Most of the construction work should be finished in late 2018. Well, Broadway on the Beach in Myrtle Beach is getting a serious makeover. The familiar Hard Rock Cafe Pyramid is being demolished. The site will be home to a new Dave & Buster's restaurant. The area will resemble a warehouse district in the southern city. Hard Rock Cafe is moving to another location at Broadway at the beach. The U.S. military banned the use of flamethrowers after the Vietnam War, but now you can buy one on the internet, and in many cases it's easier than getting a gun. Brian Webb reports.
They can shoot fire up to 30 feet, and for around $1,200, you can own one. The XM42 flamethrower is legal in every state except California and Ohio, where you need permits, and Maryland, where they're banned. They're made outside Detroit, and the small startup says sales are heating up.
You know, most of our customers are way out in the country and they have property. They see use for it.
CEO Chris Byers says most customers want one for agricultural purposes like burning fields and weeds. He claims it's also being used for snow removal, rock concerts, movies, and just for fun.
I get some girlfriends to come out sometimes to try and get some cool photos done because everyone wants to try one.
Another company called Throw Flame sells a larger version, but not everyone's so fired up about the business.
It's a weapon of mass destruction, period.
The mayor of Warren, Michigan, near where the XM42 is made, had them banned from his city.
I had one guy say to me, I'd like to have one because you never know when a horde of crazy people are going to come at your home. And I said, you've been watching too much Walking Dead. Outside of zombie attacks, there's no need to have this.
But Byers defends his product.
It's a tool. I mean, depending on how you use it, anything can be used for harm. So we say punish the person that's using it, if they are.
The company says it sold around 1,000 flamethrowers in just a few months. Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.
Well, today marks the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death, and to celebrate his life, the University of South Carolina held a special event featuring sword fights, sonnets, and theater scenes at the Thomas Cooper Library. Since his birthday fell so close to the date of his death, they even had a cake. The library currently houses a copy of the rare First Folio, a collection of Shakespeare's plays compiled by his colleagues several years after his death.
The fun thing is you might encounter the plays first as stories or as performances or on film, and whatever way you encounter them, there are further ways to explore, and everyone should have that opportunity, and no one is too young to find out or to become acquainted with Shakespeare.
Well, only 234 copies still exist of the folio, and tonight at 8 you can view a performance of Shakespeare's The Tempest at Dran Hall Theater. And Shakespeare in the Park returns tonight in Columbia. The South Carolina Shakespeare Company will be performing the comedy Merry Wives of Windsor at the Finley Park Amphitheater. The performance begins at 8 and is free to the public. Well, a 5K run was held this morning at Timmerman Trail to help Eliza O'Neill. She's the Midlands girl suffering from a rare disease, Sanfilippo syndrome. She remains in quarantine with her family, waiting on a clinical trial to begin that could help reverse the symptoms of her rare disease. Money raised will help fund the clinical trial, which was recently approved by the FDA.
To see everyone coming out is a really big deal because this disease is so rare. So in order to receive support, it's crazy that her parents have raised so much money to fund this clinical trial. So to see support from Columbia, which is kind of where this whole thing started, I think it's really important, you know, to remember that she's one of our own. She's right here in Columbia, so it's really awesome to see students, families, faculty members of the College of Pharmacy all come and support this cause today.
Well, since Eliza loves to run, the theme is Gingerbread Run, and you can't catch her because she's so fast. Well, the annual Vintage Comic-Con and Toy Con was today. Attendees were able to check out everything from antique toys and comics to Barbie dolls and action figures, and this all took place at the Jamil Temple.
This is almost the norm now. People like this stuff. Their collectibles have become a lot more fun. And a lot of the collectibles, they hold their value. So I think it's great for the Midlands. There's actually a few different shows they actually do here each year. This is just one of, I think, 6 or 7. But yeah, I think it's great for the community.
Now, Roy Thomas and Walking Dead zombie Sanford Green, along with Chad Bowers and the Godzilla guy, made a special appearance. Well, the Columbia Museum of Art's 9th annual Greater Columbia Record Fair is being held tomorrow. The event is the largest local market of the year to find vinyl from your favorite classics to highly collectible items, with more than 30 vinyl vendors. And it's not just about buying music. You can also enjoy live music while you sip on drinks from the pop-up beer garden. And it's from noon until 5 tomorrow, and admission is free. Still to come, get ready because Jim says things are going to heat up next week. He'll be back with your family's full forecast next. Well, a food truck rally is underway at River Bluff High School. It's a family-friendly event offering food from 15 local food trucks, along with live music, arts and crafts, and vendors, along with Finding Nemo, which will be shown on the school's Jumbotron. Now, tickets are $5 per person, and it runs until 10 o'clock tonight. All the money raised will go back to support the school band. So it seems like a perfect day out there for a food truck get-together, right, Jim?
Anything else today? The rain moved out overnight. The clouds moved out this morning. It was beautiful outside today, partly cloudy, and it wasn't hot. Let me show you what we're seeing. About the only complaint might be that the pollen index, the pollen count kind of rose from Friday. It was at 9.3 today. Oak, hickory, and willow, the main contributors. Now, it's expected to climb to about a 9.8 tomorrow, be in that range Monday as well. But then on Tuesday, may jump up to about a 10.9 on a 12-point scale. We expect that pollen count to be high right on through next week. Now, here's what we're seeing at the moment. The front came through overnight. It's now well offshore. Now, we've seen a few showers up in eastern North Carolina, nothing around South Carolina. Lots of sunshine, just a few clouds coming in, but those will be moving out tonight. Here's what's happened. The weather system has moved offshore, taking the clouds and the rain with it. High pressure over southeastern Canada is edging down all the way to the Gulf Coast region. Notice how nice it is over about the eastern half of the country. The next storm system is getting better organized now in Wyoming, and this is the storm system that they're going to be watching for next week. It'll move out into the Plains states and get even better organized in the southern plains, and this is where we're expecting some severe weather. But ahead of that, we're going to be seeing some very warm temperatures in our region. Now, the cool air coming in behind the front has been noticed today from the Midwest into the Northeast. Temperatures in the 50s and the 60s. Here we've been in the low 80s, and right now 70s extend all the way up into South Dakota. It gets a bit cooler behind that weather system. It's the clash of these two air masses that will be helping to fuel that severe weather next week. But right now it's just beautiful in South Carolina. We're seeing plenty of sunshine, and temperatures have dropped now into the upper 70s. It's 78 degrees in Sumter and in Florence, 79 in Columbia, Orangeburg, and Augusta, even along the coast today. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Our computer model indicating tonight those clouds will be moving out, mostly clear tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine, and we'll start warming up. It'll be clear again tomorrow night, and into Monday we'll be seeing mostly sunny skies as the humidity starts to climb. Tonight, you can expect a pleasant evening. Temperatures getting down into the mid-50s. 53 for low in Saluda and Newberry, 56 in Lexington, Columbia, 54 in Camden, 57 down in Orangeburg. Then tomorrow, we'll be seeing high temperatures rebounding into the low 80s, maybe 79 in Newberry, 81 for Columbia and Orangeburg, and 80 degrees over in Sumter. Here's our 7-day forecast, and it's dry into the beginning of the week, but notice it starts to warm up on Monday, 84 degrees. 89 on Tuesday. In fact, we'll be near 90 degrees much of next week. And with the moisture increasing, we'll see a slight chance of an afternoon thunderstorm on Wednesday, but a little bit better chance of some thunderstorms Thursday afternoon. Another front will come through the area Friday night into Saturday, but that one right now looks like it'll be dry and it'll break that 90 degrees. And so next Saturday, we're expecting a high temperature of 87.
Well, it looks like it's going to be beautiful next week.
It is.
Except for that slight thunderstorm possibility.
It's going to be up near 90 degrees. That's just a little too hot for this time of the year.
Yeah, but it's all good. Maybe that rain will cool us off just a little bit. Well, still to come, Little League's umpire's home was destroyed by the October flood, but after the break, we'll tell you how local teams are helping him get back on his feet. Well, the Gamecocks baseball team is taking on Missouri at Founders Park as we speak. The score is currently 3-1 Gamecocks in the bottom of the 7th inning. A win tonight means the Gamecocks earned the series victory after defeating the Tigers 8-5 last night. And we will have highlights from tonight's game on News 19 coming up at 11. Well, last night's rain at Doug Kingsmore Stadium halted the end of Game 1 between Georgia Tech and Clemson in the 9th inning. The two teams got back on the field today, however, though, to finish it. Game 1 would go into extra innings, and Clemson would come up out on top with an 8-7 victory. Game 2 of the series gets underway tonight at 6:30 p.m. Well, the Fireflies are back in action tonight at 7:05 in Greenville. Last night, the Fireflies scored 2 runs in the 9th inning to grab the win. Columbia is now 9-7 on the season. The Fireflies will be back at Spirit Communications Park playing the Lexington Legends beginning Tuesday. Well, an umpire lost nearly everything to the flood, but with the help of a Midlands Little League community, he's been able to get back into the swing of things. And News 19's Ralph Cooper reports.
Okay, guys, let's play ball.
For Steve Marshall, umpiring for the Trentham Little League is more than just a hobby.
There's no place I'd rather be after I get off from my day job. If I'm not with my family, being out here gives me that sense of peace and just really re-energizes me, and it's just a passion I have.
A passion sparked at the age of 6 by Steve's hero, his dad. It has been 16 years since the loss of his father, but with the trip to the ballpark, it's as if Pop never left.
And some days I'll just sit back and it's all most surreal. I just think about following him around when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and just brings a smile on my face and in my heart.
Baseball and family have always gone hand in hand in Steve's life, and when he lost everything to the floods, it was his baseball family who stepped up to the plate.
Steve told me, everything that happened at the house, we need to be cleared out, because of the flood and been totaled. And so a group of us, we all got in touch, and we went over on that Wednesday and helped him clean out the house.
It just really reaffirmed everything I knew, that we are family here. We take care of each other. We strive to be there for each other in times of need.
No matter how many times you strike out.
Life can be as stressful as you make it, or it can be as calm as you make it. And baseball is that calming factor along with my family and my life. And to me, that's about the best a man can hope for.
Ralph Cooper, News 19, WLTS.
Well, thanks to the Trentham Little League community, Steve and his family are fully recovered. Now on to high school soccer. Two of the top teams in the country squaring off. That's River Bluff, which was ranked 4th by USA Today, hosting top-ranked Wandu from the Low Country. The Warriors were first to score during the big game, and River Bluff tried to come back, but in the end, the Warriors would win it by a final of 3-1. That's all we have for sports. We'll be returning right after the break. Well, what would you do if you found an alligator in your swimming pool? Thankfully, that's not something we really have to worry about, but some of our friends in Texas, we weren't so lucky. This is video from a home in Missouri City. Wildlife experts had to pull this alligator out of the swimming pool. The gator appears to be about 7 feet long, and officials say flooding is known to cause wildlife to stray from its natural habitat in this area, which is probably why the gator got there in the first place. But we don't have that problem here, thank the Lord.
Let's hope not.
Yes. But I mean, no flooding here either, so we don't.
No rain. That has moved out. And actually for the next couple of nights, it's going to be quite pleasant. We'll be seeing low temperatures of 56. But tomorrow we'll be seeing lots of sunshine. It'll be getting up to 81 degrees. Get out and enjoy it.
All right, there you have it. Beautiful day tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Return back to watch us tonight at 11.